Welcome to another edition of the Third Rubin Channel. In this video, we're bringing you the latest insights and updates on critical issues impacting society, that being homelessness. Homelessness has reached a record-breaking 12%. It is a crisis that cannot be ignored. But what has led us to this point? The answer lies in the skyrocketing cost of rent. As cities become more desirable, their rents soar, pushing many hard-working individuals and families to the brink of homelessness. The dream of having a roof over your head becomes just that, a dream, when rent prices exceed what people can afford. It's a vicious cycle where those most vulnerable pay the highest price, and the consequences reach far beyond the individual. Our schools, our healthcare system, our communities, all bear the weight of this crisis. Let's get into this article recital from the Milwaukee Independent concerning this crisis. Here we go. In a concerning development, the number of homeless individuals in the country has reached a staggering figure of about 653,000, marking the highest count since the implementation of the annual point-in-time survey in 2007. This represents an alarming increase of approximately 70,650 individuals compared to the previous year. The recent data suggests that a significant portion of this rise can be attributed to individuals experiencing homelessness for the first time. Furthermore, the upward trend in family homelessness has put an end to the declining pattern that began in 2012. Ann Oliva, the CEO of the National Alliance to End Homelessness, expressed that those directly involved in addressing this crisis are not surprised by these statistics. The urgency of the situation is evident. Marcia Fudge, the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, emphasized the pressing need to support proven solutions that enable individuals to swiftly transition out of homelessness and prevent it from occurring in the first place. The data serves as a stark reminder of this imperative. Reflecting on the progress made since the initial survey in 2007, the United States had steadily reduced the homeless population for nearly a decade. The government's focused efforts on providing housing for veterans played a crucial role in this achievement. The number of homeless individuals decreased from around 637,000 in 2010 to approximately 554,000 in 2017. However, the figures began to rise again, reaching approximately 580,000 in the 2020 count. They remained relatively stable over the next 2 years as Congress responded to the COVID-19 pandemic by implementing emergency rental assistance, stimulus payments, aid to states and local governments, and a temporary eviction moratorium. Jeff Olivet, the executive director of the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness, highlighted that the additional assistance temporarily prevented a further surge in homelessness. He identified various factors contributing to the problem, with the shortage of affordable housing and the exorbitant cost of housing being the most significant causes. These circumstances have left many Americans living paycheck to paycheck, just one crisis away from experiencing homelessness. Within the overall increase, homelessness among individuals rose by nearly 11%, among veterans by 7.4%, and among families with children by 15.5%. These statistics paint a distressing picture of the current situation and emphasize the urgent need for comprehensive action to address the root cause of homelessness and provide sustainable solutions for those affected. Black individuals, who make up approximately 13% of the U.S. population, account for a staggering 37% of all people experiencing homelessness. Similarly, Hispanic or Latino individuals, comprising around 19% of the population, make up about 33% of those facing homelessness. Additionally, more than a quarter of adults experiencing homelessness are over the age of 54. The Department of Housing and Urban Development has acknowledged the extremely challenging rental housing conditions in 2022, with rents increasing at a rate more than double that of previous years. However, this trend has subsided since the January count, providing some relief. This relief may prove beneficial when volunteers and housing officials conduct the next homeless count in 2024. Furthermore, officials have highlighted President Joe Biden's budget for this fiscal year, which recommends guaranteed vouchers for low-income veterans and youths aging out of foster care, among other investments aimed at reducing homelessness. Interestingly, more than half of the individuals experiencing homelessness in the country are concentrated in 4 states: California, New York, Florida, and Washington. While California is estimated to have around 28% of the nation's homeless population, its increase was only about half the national rate. On the other hand, New York's homelessness rate went up more than 3 times the national rate, as reported by HUD. States such as New Hampshire, New Mexico, Colorado, and New York witnessed the largest percentage increases in homelessness. Overall, the number of people experiencing homelessness increased in 41 states and the District of Columbia, while only 9 states saw a decrease. Dave Giffen, the executive director of the Coalition for the Homeless in New York City, emphasized that the cost of rental housing skyrocketed after the pandemic. After the pandemic-era protections were lifted, the city witnessed a resurgence in homelessness. Evictions and housing instability became more prevalent, exacerbating the issue. However, this rise in homelessness was overshadowed by a sudden influx of asylum seekers, creating an additional crisis that caught the city and state off guard. Since the summer of 2022, New York City's homeless shelter system has been inundated with waves of international migrants arriving from southern U.S. border states. Over 150,000 migrants have sought refuge in the city's shelters at some point. Mayor Eric Adams has urgently appealed to the federal government for assistance in covering the substantial cost of housing these migrants, which are projected to reach billions of dollars in the coming years. He has also criticized the governor of Texas for orchestrating the transportation of migrants from their state to New York. As a Democrat, Adams has additionally called for legal and bureaucratic reforms that would facilitate the issuance of work permits to migrants. Although HUD did not possess data specifically isolating the impact of migrants and asylum seekers on homelessness, some communities reported that it did contribute to the overall increase. In response, the Biden administration has allocated over $1 billion in grant funding to cities and states to address the critical needs of migrants. Furthermore, they are actively identifying federal land and buildings that can be repurposed as shelters and other essential services for migrants, as stated by a senior HUD official who cannot discuss the report publicly. It also aimed to highlight positive developments and acknowledge that certain communities defied the national trend. For instance, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and its surrounding region experienced a remarkable 49% decrease in homelessness compared to the previous year. This achievement was attributed to intensified efforts in rapidly connecting individuals with permanent housing and implementing proactive measures to prevent homelessness. Several other areas were also mentioned for a decline in certain statistics. Dallas, for instance, witnessed a decrease of 3.8%, while Newark and Essex County in New Jersey experienced a significant drop of 16.7%. On the other hand, Houston took action by shutting down several homeless encampments throughout the city, resulting in a notable 17% reduction in unsheltered homelessness. Additionally, San Jose in California and Tucson in Arizona were recognized for their positive improvements. That'll do it for this latest article recital. Voice your take on this topic in the comments section. Stay ready for another video coming soon. Look out for one another, seek justice, and be safe out there, people.